What's up, everyone? How is it going? Happy Friday, happy Power Hour. Apologies for being a couple seconds late here. Hold on one second. I got to set up. I didn't even realize I didn't have my fat face into the Weeble. How's it going, everyone? I hope everyone is having a wonderful end of their week. Got the fan on here. It's for some reason really steamy in this room. Let me know if my audio is coming in okay. I see everyone in the chat here. Marco, Antonio, Synonymous, Saskatchewan, Sanju, Andy, pretty much everyone, the who's here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a lot to talk about today. Before we talk about it though, I'm just going to try to pull up the stock price if I possibly can here. 1 second. Let me throw my face into Webull. Hold on. What did I do here? New. For some reason, it's not wanting to pop up here. I see everyone in the chat. Hold on. Let me get at you in a second here. Add camera mic. Make it visible. Add it into Webull. Okay, let's do this. Let's do studio mode off. Let's go back to Webull. Okay, cool. Hopefully everything's popping up here. Hold on. We got way too much stuff going on here. Hold on. We got to delete one of these chat boxes. Which one do I delete? I was prepared. I spent like 45 minutes today setting all this stuff up. I'm going to delete this one, I think, on the top. Okay, there we go. I spent 45 minutes today setting everything up. It's one of those Fridays. Oh, wow. Tesla rallying here. 268.41. We've officially gone green here, folks, for the day. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country. I'll read off some places here now. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the chapters of what we care about today, okay? We got... Thank you. Appreciate the compliments. Yes, I'm trying to go for the mullet look. I don't know if it's going to work. Abby's not very happy about it. She's probably listening to this right now. She's not very happy about it, but I'm trying to go for the mullet look. I don't know if I can pull it off. I don't know if it's possible. We'll see. Okay, chapters of the stream today. We've got AI Day 2, obviously, coming up today. We've got the Reuters exclusive about 495,000 deliveries in Q4. We'll see. I have my opinion on that and really why this is a big fat nothing burger. We got some pretty bad news, I'll be honest, out of the PCE report today, and especially out of the Atlanta Fed GDP now. No one's really talking about this. We'll definitely talk about this today and why it's something to really be on edge about in terms of what's happening. And then I'm going to go through my back of the napkin Tesla valuation towards the end of the stream, I think, where... we'll plug in some numbers, we'll change the discount rates, we'll change the pay periods. Like, we'll just play around with the modeling a little bit, okay? I hope that, and then also Twitter. We'll talk about Elon on Twitter, because I've gotten a lot of requests about that. Sound good? If there's anything else you want me to add into that schedule, let me know. Okay, let's read off some places here. And by the way, yeah, shout out to all my friends on the East Coast with the store. I hope you guys are doing safe. NYC... audio great. Okay, awesome, perfect. Cincinnati, Santa Barbara. Oh, hold on, it just zoomed all the way to the bottom. I can't miss these places. Sweden. I got the Elon haircut. Is that the? I don't know if that's the Elon haircut. We'll see. Austria, London, Amsterdam, Jamaica, Sweden. Giga Liverpool. There we go. Santa Barbara to Tacoma. Obviously, I should be able to say Tacoma. I live so close to it. Okay, you guys are funny. Bay Area, Gonzalo, how's it going, my friend? Broomsfield, Colorado. Colorado Springs. You guys are saying Elon got the Yash haircut. There we go. That's right, Andy. Yes, okay. Sweden. We got people from everywhere here. Okay, I appreciate you guys tuning in. 268.62. I will say, I'm surprised we are green. I titled the stream Tesla stock trying to end the week green because to end the week green, we have to close above $272, essentially, give or take. We'll find out if we get there. 272, 273, let's call it, to finish green on the week. I mean, anything's possible, I guess. If anyone that cares, the NASDAQ is down 70 basis points. Tesla's pretty much flat on the day. The real troublesome point for me, honestly, is still VIX. I look at VIX and I'm just like, it's not great. Being over $30. Now you could play devil's advocate and say, yeah, that's great. If Tesla's being flat in this environment, well, it wasn't yesterday, but if Tesla's holding up in that environment, when VIX inevitably does drop, we'll rally. To which I say yes, but I mean, why is the VIX so high? That's really the question here. Okay, so let's do this. Let's pull up the news pieces we got going on today. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to add in the chat box. Okay, let's copy this over. Let's bring it over to Chrome. Let's see how that... oh, that does not look good. Never mind. Okay, let's go through our news articles for the day. By the way, I'm going to retweet this. If you can too, I'd appreciate that. Live now. All right, there we go. I appreciate everyone tuning in. How many people we got in stream? 200 people in stream, 36 likes so far. 4 minutes into the stream. Good. I like it. Okay, let's do it. So AI Day 2. Let's talk. If you haven't seen it now, if you haven't seen it already, you'll see it now. This is the AI Day tomorrow preview with the hands coming out. I was listening to Farzad's stream and they were talking about all of the hand gestures here. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an engineer. I'm not going to pretend like I even know remotely where this is headed in any shape or form. But I think it's important to realize that Elon replied to this and said, this is the hands of Optimus. This is not CGI. So we got that. You know, drop a comment. Expectations for AI Day. Short, long, I don't care. Never mind. Whatever you want to say. And I'll read some out. Expectations for AI Day 2. Not stock-wise, because I think we can all agree AI Day 2, AI Day 2022, by in and of itself is not going to be a stock catalyst. At least I don't think so. Deliveries maybe, which, by the way, we have to talk about. But let me know. Drop a comment what your expectations are for AI Day 2. My expectations are, I mean, I'm pretty excited overall, but they're still tame. I'm not coming out here thinking they're going to start releasing pre-orders to the public. I don't think it'll be anything that we can start projecting revenue from right away, but it'll be an interesting update in terms of technology that we'll see. Optimus prototype walking on stage says epigenetics. I can see that. Saskatchewan says expectations are low. Ye says AI Day 2 will have whoa moments in the first phone. I think there'll be a lot of those moments. But for the record, I don't think that'll translate into the stock price, like some are suggesting. Sleepless. Hadouken says recruiting event for all job posting on Tesla website. Someone else says Tesla will show in a Cybertruck giving away fresh pizza. So I mean, there was those rumors with the Cybertruck potentially having some sort of connection here with AI Day. I'm not entirely sure, folks. Here's what I think. In general, when I'm hyped about an event, like Battery Day, for example, when I was really hyped, the reaction post Battery Day is often like a nothing burger, right? And we saw that from the market. We saw that from people that did not understand Battery Day for what it was. For this event, I'm actually more tame. And because I'm more tame, I almost want to say that this bodes better because my expectations are low in terms of a reaction. So we'll see. Optimus dance for sure. Xander, how's it going? Optimus walking and having a glass of wine. You know, Optimus, I have no doubt Tesla can build this bot. The question I have is, what are the use cases it sees first and foremost, like specific use cases that the bot can be implemented for in the next 6 to 12 months internally, of course. Like I continue to think this is going to be an internal thing. Tesla is going to use the bot for itself first, and it should. But that's what I'm really getting hyped about. Pardon me. Are the use cases? Okay, so that's AI Day 2. We'll talk more about that towards the end of the stream. Macro. I'm not going to spend too much time into macro because I know everyone hates talking about macro, but here's what you need to know. The PCE report, inflation report, this is the report that the Fed actually uses, right? When the Fed comes out and they say, look, we are going to be looking at inflation very closely and we're data dependent. PCE is really what they're looking at. So, So PCE snapped back to its third highest monthly value of this inflationary episode in August, 0.6% or a 7% annual rate. And so you'll see here, this is the 1 month change here of PCE, and it was higher than expectations. Now, here's why it's a problem. If you couple this higher than expected, hotter than expected PCE report, and you couple it with the Atlanta Fed GDP Now update, check out this update for my macroeconomic nerds out there. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now estimate is over 2%. Over 2%. So what this means is essentially the Fed continues to have free reign into increasing interest rates. Now, CPI, I'm going to have to pull up the day of when CPI comes out. But we know PCE is really what they're looking at. They've said as much. But this Atlanta Fed GDP Now estimate, if like for example, if we came out and the update today from the Fed was the GDP estimate for Q3 is negative, okay, well then we got a recipe for the Fed can still ease off of the rate hikes. This current estimate, and again, this might change. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's going to change very much now. But this might not print. But their estimate being over 2%, that's a very high likelihood that we have positive GDP numbers to end the year or to end the quarter, which means more rate hikes, and the Fed can't really stop. So I'm not very happy to hear that, of course, as as I think that they're probably overdoing the rate hikes already. 260, 653 sitting on Tesla, but this essentially gives them free reign on it. So we'll see. Okay, enough of the macro talk. There was a Reuters report out today. Tesla plans to build 1.6 million Model Ys and Model 3s globally in the first 3 quarters of 2023. Tesla plans to produce 500,000 Model Ys and Model 3s globally in Q4. So this was kind of the report. 495,000 in Q4, right? This is Tesla's internal forecast, by the way. And by the way, shout out to Troy Teslake, making it to a Reuters article instead of analyst consensus for deliveries. That goes to show you this goes to show you how meaningless analyst estimates really are for deliveries, especially. Troy Teslake has made it into the Reuters article here. So here's why I think for the most part this is kind of a nothing burger article. Okay, so 495,000 for Q4 2022 is what they're projecting, right? But we know that if Tesla wants to hit, and I'll go to my back of the napkin math here, if Tesla wants to hit 1.404, where my mouse is right there, 1.404, they're going to have to do something like 470, let's call it 480. They'll have to do something like 480 in Q4 anyways to meet their 50% year-over-year target. So, and again, this is with Shanghai shutdown, it's completely nuts that this is even in the ballpark for them to hit this year, 50% annual delivery growth rate with Shanghai shutdown, right? It's just nuts. Anyways, but they're going to have to hit something like 480 anyways in Q4. So this report, 495, I guess makes sense. Like you're going to shoot higher. I just don't see it being like this massive report with internal docs. I mean, their internal sales goals may be obviously higher than what is needed for 50% year-over-year growth anyways. So yeah, I don't know. I know everyone's getting excited about this Reuters report, but remember, Reuters is not really a hugely reliable Tesla source when it comes to reporting stuff. At least historically hasn't been. So take that with a grain of salt. The production plans will also see, they say, Tesla blow past projected growth in the global market for autos by close to a 10 factor in 2023. And Reuters confirmed the global output target for Model Y and Model 3 with 2 people with knowledge of its projections. Remember, Model Y and Model 3 are going to make up the majority of the mix anyways. They spoke on the condition that they would not be named because the forecast is private. This is like going to a company and saying, like, what are your sales targets for the quarter? I mean, okay. Sales targets are sales targets. They're pretty much been almost as public with their sales targets as you can just run the math on anyway. So I guess it's good news. I mean, it's not FUD coming out of Reuters, so there's that, right? Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. And yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll do a Tesla closing price guessing game with 15 minutes left in market hours today. And then after hours, stick around because we'll do a delivery guess. Parker's getting me thinking now. Maybe we should do that. So stick around after hours for that. Don't throw it in now. Okay. And Gary Black, in case you're cared, his opinion on the Reuters which is way above street estimate at 440 production and fourth quarter deliveries of 430. Reuters according internal sources. If one annualized the first 3 quarters of 2023 Reuters forecast of 1.59 million for Model 3 and Y, that equals 2.1 million. Adding S and X of 75K and maybe Cybertruck of 50K would imply next year fiscal year production of 2.2 million versus Wall Street estimates of 2 million. Tesla does not give forward guidance when it posts volumes for the quarter, which we know. And remember, their 50% growth target for the year is 2.106, right? 2.106. So for them, for Tesla to hit 50% annualized growth on deliveries this year is 1.4, next year is 2.1. Folks, like the fact that Tesla is even remotely, like this is in the vicinity, this is in the ballpark. Maybe the Tesla team thinks it's in the bag for the year, like 1.4, with how much time off Shanghai had and the re-ramping of factories. It's just nuts. It actually is nuts. And with how, let's be honest, with how, not low, but, not amazing production has been out of Berlin and Austin just yet. So there's that. Okay. Does that make sense? Let me read any comments here. I'll have a sip of water. Yes, I do have the Juju. Should I pull it out? I think that's how we go green. 267.02. I'm going to pull up the Juju here now. First slice is going in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. Stay healthy. Get some vitamin C in some form of citrus. Okay, first slice in. 267 sitting on Tesla. Let's go green. Tim says, will not be surprised with the higher ASP given the amount of refresh S and X I've seen on the roads now. That's definitely, yes, that's definitely a wild card. To be honest, my ASP is probably a little bit too high in my projection anyways, my back of the napkin. I was playing around, I have it at 55. But, even if you do 50, let's say 25% margin, maybe you want to debate me on that. 20% margin, 40 PE, maybe that's a little bit low. VPS growth rate target is 50, and we want a peg of 1. We can peg the PE at 1 and keep our PE at 50 as well. And discount rate is quite high. I have a 12% discount rate. So that gets a price target discounted back with all these numbers at 41. Actually, I think this is discounted 1 fiscal year too much even. It should only be discounted back 3 pay periods, I believe. So 539 post-split. I just tried messing with this after the stream. Is banana citrus? No, Saskatchewan. Unfortunately, it's not. But you guys know how I feel about bananas. I'm not a fan of bananas. I'm not. Something against you, Saskatchewan. It's just me and bananas don't get along. That didn't sound great. No, it's just a personal preference. Anyways, let's move on. Sawyer Merritt, which, by the way, I'll tell everyone now. Anyone on in Discord already knows this. Sawyer Merritt, tentatively coming on next Power Hour Friday, next week, October 7th. So I'm excited to have Sawyer on. I quote him so much. He does so much awesome work on Tesla, Twitter, and then shares for the Tesla community. I've been meaning to reach out to him for a while. So next Friday, hoping to have him on. Still tentative, but take that. And then also, I think everyone pretty much knows this in Patreon, channel membership, Discord. Lee from Tesla Economist is coming on Monday. I think it's not going to be live. I think I'm going to sit down with him, pre-record it. If any Discord members, Patreon members, channel members have any questions, feel free to DM me. I try to go through all of them, and then I'll release it as probably a Patreon exclusive for a couple of days. Maybe release some clips on the channel prior to the launch, and then have the interview, I think, out on the Wednesday. That's my plan. Yeah, Lee's awesome. We got a lot to talk about with the batteries with Lee. Anyways, Sawyer tweets news. Hollywood super agent Ari Emanuel has attempted to pave a way for the potential settlement between Elon and Twitter over their disputed $44 billion takeover, according to Bloomberg. Emanuel reportedly contacted Twitter board member Egon, which is funny, within the past few weeks and suggested the two sides find a solution to the dispute over the buyout ahead of their upcoming court proceedings. This is such a smart agent move. Can we just say that for a second? The fact that this agent's coming in and he's saying, look, I'll solve your issues and just give me this like 2% commission here. Very smart. Very smart. Anyways, he might act as a mediator. Wrong answers only in the chat. When will this Twitter and Elon saga end? Wrong answers only. Throw it in the chat. We'll start our first segment off here, impromptu. Honestly, if Farzad's right, it's ending every day. So there's that. I actually think there is a non-zero chance it happens today after hours. I mean, so does investment grade credit, but who knows? So wrong answers only. Steven says 4/20/2023. S-Street says after AI Day 2. Well, hey, I think we welcome that. When Cybertrucks fly. Callum says 2 weeks. Nicely played. There we go. Digital says when Starship gets to Mars. Yesterday, I guess we need a time machine for that. During the bot wars. Next week when MySpace makes a comeback. There we go. I mean, it's funny. It's like, a lot of this stuff, and I'll put up the chat here on the side. Honestly, I'm not sure if anyone is a sick. Like, I feel like I'm the only one that feels this way. I'm very much sick of the whole Twitter headline stuff. The back and forth, the fighting, the takeover, the non-takeover, the months proceedings, it might happen by end of the year. He might get deposed. It's just like, let's just get into this. Like, because if Elon's going to buy Twitter, we know there's going to be massive changes to Twitter day one. I want to see those changes. And we know if Elon's not going to buy Twitter, he's going to have a lot of cash left over. And then we start speculating, what is he going to do with that cash? Because we know Elon's not going to be sitting in cash. I don't think he cares about cash too much. Unlike us. So, earnings call 2024. He can pay in Doge? Yeah, maybe. Actually. How's it going, Richard? When Optimus has its own Twitter bot account. Optimus does have its own Twitter bot account. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this one. Optimus. There it is. This official Tesla, it's a parody account, has 30K followers. This Optimus account. So obviously Optimus is already sentient. Take that for what you want. By the way, can you believe it's been over a year since AI Day? It's kind of crazy. When Putin apologizes. Yeah. So it's the battle of the bots, Tesla versus Twitter. I actually tweeted something similar to that. I said, what are the odds on Parag making a special guest appearance at AI Day to see the bot because he doesn't think any exist? I still think it's 50%, greater than 50% chance. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a world in where we see a Twitter settlement and then we see Parag show up, CEO of Twitter, show up at AI Day 2, pumping up the Tesla bot, fist pumping in the audience, cheering for Elon. Can you imagine what kind of simulation we'd be living in? When GM really wrong answers only. When is the Twitter settlement coming? Caleb says when GM reaches volume EV production. That's not very bullish, my friend. Okay. 266.80 sitting on Tesla here. Yeah, the Twitter drama is, it was cool for a week. At this point, I just think it's going to be a long, slow dragging out of what it is, which might be famous last words and we get a settlement today after hours. I have no idea, but it would be welcomed for sure. The reason why, by the way, if you guys, hold on one second. The reason why, hold on, let's just make this a little bit more read eligible here for people watching. The reason why I have the chat box here is because I know people that watch on replay have to click on the live chat feature and then follow along with the chat. Whereas if you just pull up on the screen, it's just a lot easier. So I'm still testing it. I know you guys don't love the whole chat box thing, but I do think it makes a difference for people that are watching replay. Okay. So why do I have so many? I have so many. Oh, thanks for retweeting, folks. I was like, why do I have so many notifications? What the? Oh, is it spam everywhere? Twitter, you gotta fix your spam, man. Thank you, Gonzalo, Mimi, everyone retweeting. Marcus, Testla, or maybe LA. Andy, appreciate you good folks. Thank you. Okay, So much spam on Twitter, man. It's just nuts. It's actually crazy. A new tweet here from Troy Teslike as well. Pull this up. Hi, everybody. Troy says, here's a VIN chart that shows Model 3 production at Fremont factory in quarter 3. Production was stable throughout the quarter and clearly higher than quarter 2. And so this is the dot graph or the plot graph that Troy has here. Pretty much at 365-ish. It's kind of the projected target. On the higher end, we see maybe 369-ish, around there. But that's the Model 3 production at the Fremont factory. So, interesting. You got to appreciate what Troy does. It's awesome. Yeah, the Stream Elements bot, I got to fix that thing. Alexander says, I don't know what to do with my time until the stream starts. So the stream is the Tesla AI Day stream is at what, 5 p.m. Pacific, and it goes to 11 p.m. or that's the event. When is the stream happening? Anyone know? Throw in the chat. When is the actual stream popping up? I guess I could probably pull up on Tesla Twitter here too, but someone on the stream would know. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Happy Friday to you too, Stefan. What time is the stream at? Not the actual event. We know the event is at 5. Okay, 6:15. Thank you, folks. So 6:15 is when the actual stream's at. I'm not going to be streaming for that. I think there'll probably be better channels out there that might co-stream. We'll see. 6:15. So 6:15 to 11, that's going to be a long-ass stream. I think Dave Lee's there. Maybe he'll stream live. Maybe he'll come through. I think he's having lunch right now with some Twitter with fellow retail investors. Actually, Dave had a great video out today. He met with Tesla Investor Relations, and he gave a little bit of the inside gossip of what he heard. Nothing insider information like that, but just like the way to think about reports out there. And for what it's worth, the Tesla IR team consensus compiled delivery estimate for this quarter is about 365. So, okay, let's talk deliveries. I'm going to ask for your guess after hours, just so we can keep it all conglomerated after. But deliveries are happening likely Sunday morning. That's my guess. Sunday morning is probably when we'll get delivery numbers out. Wall Street has actually moved up on their estimate. And someone in the chat, if you know, beat me to it, feel free. I think is it 365 or is that too high here? Someone let me know in the chat. I bet you someone's going to know. Oh, actually, no, I found it. Right here. Ha, beat you. Okay, Gary says, we believe Sunday's quarter 3 volume update will surprise on the upside. Tesla's IR compiled consensus is for 363 deliveries versus Bloomberg consensus at 358. The Tesla quarter 3 production could be as high as 375. Yes, it could be. I guess this is kind of a pipe dream for now. Okay, so we'll consider that. We'll consider the line in the sand, 363. This is probably closer to the whisper number anyways, rather than the Bloomberg consensus. So I think the line in the sand, what to look at for a positive or negative reaction is probably closer to 363. So we'll see. Yeah, we talked about Dave's and we talked about the Reuters information at the beginning of the stream. Feel free to rewind on that. That was one of the first things we talked about. So 363 deliveries is essentially what we're looking at for kind of, let's say, the buy side or the whisper number coming in. I'm not sure. I mean, Gary says production could be as high as 375. If 375 did happen, for example, that would be it'd be nuts. If we got 300, so the couple cases here. One is AI Day is pretty cool, good technology, no pre-orders, nothing like that. And then deliveries come in at, let's say, 365. And in that respect, if macro holds steady, I guess that's even asking too much over a weekend nowadays. But if macro holds steady, even if macro is down a little bit, I think Tesla probably has relative strength. If AI Day 2 has a wild card where they're taking pre-orders on something, or they're releasing a product, or they've sold or partnered with XYZ company for something, and then we take that in coupling with a really awesome delivery report, we have a chance for a really strong Monday. Now, vice versa, AI day 2 goes pretty much misunderstood, just like battery day, let's say. Street doesn't really care about it. And then deliveries come in underwhelming because Chinese consumers were waiting to take deliveries until Q4. Tesla produced a little bit more. They have extra inventory now, but that'll be sold in Q4. But deliveries, let's say, came in closer to 350. I think then we have a sell the news event Monday. So I think the chances are AI day 2, no matter really what happens, I mean, outstanding from a pre-order event or a new product unveil that they're going to book revenue on right away, I think has a slight sell the news effect. Remember, all Tesla events will. If Battery Day had a sell the news event, almost everything else will, in my opinion. Like Battery Day was so consequential for the projection of the EV company, which analysts should really know about, but they didn't. So if Battery Day went kind of misunderstood, I think Battery Day the next day we were down like 5% or something. I think AI Day 2 might go, so it might probably follow that. S-Trade says even Cybertruck event was a sell-off the next day. Yeah, there you go. So I think pre-orders are kind of like that. Because remember, I think a lot of people buy Tesla. A lot of traders will buy Tesla that don't know Tesla. They'll buy Tesla thinking this event is going to be this massive thing for the stock. When it isn't, then obviously we see relative weakness the next day. So I think deliveries are really what save us. Anything greater than 365, really. 363, I mean. So that's what to look at. Well, it was actually really funny. Like, who was it? Sawyer tweeted, kind of making fun of the analyst here. He tweeted, where did I see it? By the way, Tesla China says the report claiming the upcoming Model Y performance drop is false. Can we just pause and say that the PR campaign or the PR team that Tesla China has is great? Like, I know a lot of people don't like PR departments here, but having statements on record like this out of China, hugely beneficial in my opinion. I think that's great. Anyways, where was it? Right here. So Sawyer quote tweeted Gene Munster, who said, no, AI Day starts at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. No other company holds an analyst event on a Friday night. I love it. Another example of Elon's first principle approach. I'll be watching. Sawyer said pretty much, look, it's not an analyst event. It's for engineers. It's a recruiting event. They've made it clear. And he said most analysts will walk away from the event confused about what they just saw, which is probably true. And to be honest, it's probably going to be me as well. Like, come on, like I'll be watching, but am I really going to be understanding everything? I don't think so. But I definitely try my best. I don't even pretend to say that I know what really everything is all about here. You guys know my take on the bot. Okay. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, delivery times back to normal in China as well. Yeah, exactly. So delivery times are back to normal, and essentially we have we have all of the FUD that we had out of China reverse a little bit, right? Any delivery YOLOs? No, I don't have any delivery YOLOs, but I'm really hoping my September next year's Out the Money can get some love from this. All right, 266.78 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Ganesan says CNBC just announced that talk between Twitter and Elon is not going well. That's really bullish, actually. The fact that they said that it's not going well, I actually really think that's probably going well now, to be honest. I mean, I don't mean to be flippant, but I actually think that's actually a really good sign. Okay, let's watch. You guys remember Jeremy Siegel? He went viral last week because of his take on the Fed messing everything up. So he tweeted, he was on CNBC today, and his quote of the day was, long-term investors should absolutely buy now. I wanted to watch this, but after the first minute, I was like, I got to save this for the stream. So let's watch this together.
Start with these numbers. You've said some very provocative things about where the market is right now and where you think it's headed. We'll get to all that in just a minute, but your reaction to these numbers?
Well, first of all, this is August numbers. We're one day away from October.
Good point.
I haven't looked into the details of the number, We pointed out that the way these indices are constructed, that housing costs are very lagged, and they're going to continue to go up, even though, as we saw, the Case-Shiller Housing Index and the National Housing Index, housing prices are going down. So a lot of these indicators are lagged in their incorporation of inflation, particularly in terms of housing. I have to disagree with Rick about year over year, because that contains 11 months that we already know. I mean, the Fed has to be forward looking. They have to look at what's going on in the market, in the housing market, in the rental market, in the commodity market, and in the other markets.
Jeremy, you've talked about this potentially being a buying opportunity, yet we've had Katie Stockton on, who's been right about these charts thus far. She says there is still more to go here on the lower end. Rick Santelli obviously has that same view. A lot of folks have that view. Would you buy now? And is the thesis of buying now rely on the Fed easing up in a way that they may not even know that they have to yet?
If you're a long-term investor, I would absolutely buy now. I think these are absolutely great long-term values.
So that was where I stopped the video, because I was like, okay, I want to hear what he has to say after this.
Well, could it go down more? Of course, in the short run, in bear markets, it's gone down more. But when you're talking about 16 times earnings, and even if they're clipped by a recession, and you shouldn't just base it on recession earnings, you should base it on longer-term earnings, which I think are very favorable looking beyond the dip. I think these are just absolutely excellent values. Short term, I mean, anything can happen on the short term.
Jeremy, long term, a lot of
Look at the yields, folks. Look at the yields for a second. I know no one really cares about bonds, but the 2-year is yielding 4.2. The 10-year is 3.7. This level of inversion is just crazy. It's disgusting, actually, to see it.
people would consider 10 years to be a very long term. Stan Druckenmiller told Joe at the Delivering Alpha conference this week that you could be in a position where the major averages are flat 10 years from now, just because of what he thinks we may have to go through between now and then.
I disagree with that completely. That the Dow or the S&P would be flat. I mean, we added 40% to the money supply since the pandemic began in March of 2020. Earnings have historically moved up just with inflation and the money supply. So stocks should be 40% higher than they were. Now, they were at 55% higher, and now they've come down. I guess they're 20% higher than pre-pandemic levels. So to say that, 10 years from now, we're going to have the same Dow when the earnings yields that I see there on the market show that your returns are going to be probably in the neighborhood of 6% per year after inflation. That's a bit below the long-term average, but still much better than bonds, and certainly far above a flat average.
When some people compare this and they say, look, the last 40 years, if you look at the last 40 years as history, you'd be 100% right, Jeremy, that you can hold your breath for 6 months, a year at any point, and when things are bad, and you wake up and everything will be great again. But then you go back to 1970, and I know you don't think this is 1970, but you had to wait a decade, at least. What's the difference?
Well, you had a way to, you take 1970 as a peak. I mean, some people, told me, well, what happened from 2000, which was again a peak? We're down 25% from that. At least, and obviously on NASDAQ, you're down more. So you're not starting from a peak, and you're also at that peak. You are not starting at levels that, to me, were particularly overvalued. So you're starting from a position where I think now, certainly not the cheapest that we've had, but certainly the economic circumstances are not that. It's
Jeremy,
negative.
Also, that's why dollar cost averaging in your favorite companies or indexes work, right? Because when you dollar cost average, your cost basis is not the peak.
At all.
So I find him very interesting. Obviously, he's going viral because he's basically shitting on the Fed. But you have people like him. You have people like Ron Barron who say this is a generational buying opportunity. And mind you, I mean, like it's just because history is dictated when drawdowns happen like this doesn't mean it always will for every stock. Remember, cream rises and a lot of the fluffy, airy stocks we've seen have already been massively deflated. Ones that have longer duration, no earnings just yet. But, you look at Tesla and, I continue to look at Tesla and I just get excited about the earnings because, I look at, for example, James Stevenson's awesome channel. I'm going to plug James's channel here for a second. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He does awesome, like, admittedly, it's very nerdy, but I love it. That's why I love it, because I'm just I love nerding out on Excel. And I think he's a financial analyst professionally, but not for Tesla, of course, not financial advice for him. But I'm looking at adjusted EBITDA, his forecasts, and I'm looking at, shout James, he's the best. Like, look at this. And by the way, you can never watch any of his videos and just like not be calmed. It's just the best. And you look at the adjusted EBITDA, the billions of dollars, especially like next year we're talking about. Not forget about GAAP. You just say like adjusted EBITDA and the non-GAAP for next year. 30 plus $billion, closer to $40 billion. And it's just, we're still on that curve. Yeah, you're right. He's super calming. Yeah. We're on that curve of exponential growth for earnings. And mind you, we have earnings already, but it's just, we're about a year away. I thought we would already be here by now, to be fair, because of the Shanghai lockdowns. No one could have really seen that coming. But, force majeures aside, like the next fiscal year for Tesla is going to be a big one to prove it. A big one. In case you care about technical supports or resistances, by the way, a super trend indicator on TradingView is showing a sell rating all the way up to 308, essentially. But really, I mean, the massive amount of resistance that we'll see is all the way up to 285. 285. If we can close above 278, which is kind of our old buying signal to close the week, that would be great. To finish green, we would have to close 272. Let me just pull this up. Hold on. 272, I believe, on Webull. So take that for what you want. And if anyone cares, by the way, as well, from the lows of June at 20, whatever this was. Actually, the lows are over here. From the lows of June, we are still up 28%. 28%. We're up from the lows of June. So take that for what you want. The NASDAQ from the lows in June, if anyone cares, the NASDAQ is up 1.72%. So when we talk about relative strength in stocks, we talk about window dressing. I think window dressing has played a large portion in the end of the quarter push here in September for Tesla, but just relative strength, Tesla has been dominant this quarter. So we'll see. James is Tesla Buddha. Rob is Tesla Jesus. Shout to Rob too. Okay. I'm definitely not. No. Let's see what else here. What we got. Nick says Dojo as a service, the AI version of AWS. Wow. I mean, Dojo as a service, that's going to be a big one. Dojo as a service will be a big one. The problem, actually, you know what? We probably hear about that today, no? I mean, feel free to throw in the chat. Do you think we hear about Dojo as a service today? Look, AWS, for anyone that, I harp on this point so much. AWS is not a significant portion of Amazon's revenue, but it's a huge portion of their net income. Massive. I want to say majority of their net income. I haven't looked at their earnings in a while, but it's huge. It's huge. And that's why software kills, right? This is why software, when Wall Street hears about software, that's why they get excited. This is why. I think that is probably day trading in your TSLA of a C. That's my guess. Yes. I don't purposely because I think it is. Yeah. Nick says AWS is all of Amazon's profit. Yeah. Dojo as a service would be great. Yeah. Okay, let's play our Tesla closing price guessing game. Throw in the chat your Tesla closing price guess for the day. Remember, you have to guess at or under to win. Remember, it's Price is Right rule. So if you guess over by even a penny, you lose. No virtual GG for you. I'm gonna guess right now as well, I should say. So 266.80 sitting on Tesla. I'm gonna try to actually win today. Oh, and I have to give a shout out to a couple people here for the closing price guessing game. And you'll find out what I mean in a second here. So still throw it in the comments. Let's see here. I'm gonna say 269.15. That's my guess. Okay, I threw it in the chat. Okay. So I have a couple of shout outs to give actually randomly. I think you guys will like this. I got a message last Friday, or a couple of Fridays actually, probably ago now. Let me just pull this up here. And hold on one sec. Let me put my Gmail. See some really funny guesses in here. Let's see here. Where is my freaking sheets? Let's see here. It's from Andrew. Shout out to Andrew. Who built me this. And I'm going to have to figure out a way to use it. The problem, Andrew, I have, it's not really your problem, by the way. I appreciate you putting all the effort. He made us this closing price guessing game sheet, and then it ties into an Excel spreadsheet. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Andrew because he's with the EV Association of Alberta. How can I not plug them? Go check them out if you're in Alberta, the grid.albertaev.ca. Here's a free plug for you, Andrew. I appreciate you putting in the time and effort. What I'm trying to figure out if I can possibly do is keep the comments on YouTube, because the feedback I got was people don't want to click off of YouTube, put in their info or put in their guess and then come back, because then they're going to be behind. That's the only issue. So I'm working with Stream Elements bot to see if I can pull all of the guesses from the chat into the Google Sheet. But I appreciate you, Andrew, and the EV Association of Alberta for actually sponsoring this kind of sheet in a weird way. So appreciate you. And there was also someone else on Twitter who actually bought a domain name and like messaged me and said like, oh, I bought this domain name for you. I bought this domain name for you. If you want to use it, feel free to. And you guys are awesome. The community is so great. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so throw it in the chat. I threw mine in here. We will hear 266.06 sitting on Tesla. So far, my guess is not looking too hot here. And then remember, stick around for after hours. Some people are thinking we get some sort of news. I don't know. It is the end of quarter. Anything's possible. But stick around because we're going to ask you to put your delivery guesses in after we find out the winner for this first. Alex says, Yash, what are your thoughts on the US-Canadian exchange rate? Pretty crazy, hey? It's actually crazy. The US exchange rate with Canada is, whoa, it's $1.38. That's actually nuts now. Yeah, it's, for a while I loved the high exchange rate personally, because a lot of my income was US dollars in the business. And so exchanging it was like an instant boost. But then the problem was by the time it came to pay taxes, a lot of the exchange rate stuff had come down. Anyways, I think it's crazy. The US dollar, what we're seeing, like the strength in DXY in the dollar currency index, it's over let's pull up the weekly chart. It's over $112. This is the DXY, the US dollar currency index. The relative strength. I mean, everyone that was like, hey, look, US is printing so much money, their dollar is worthless. Well, look, the Fed is showing you by the aggressiveness in the heights that are aggressiveness in the rate hikes that they're serious about inflation. I think this is partly why we're seeing the strength in DXY here. So, no, I'm not in Alberta. I'm in BC. Okay. Okay, let's pull up Weeble. Forget about that. Yeah, the dollar. But anyways, for anyone that doesn't know, if you pull up DXY and it's rallying, not good for the stock market. Very bad. because remember, it's a flight to cash, essentially, right? It's a flight to US dollars. So when you see DXY rallying, it's because more people are buying US cash and less people are buying stocks and equities and whatever else. So that's what it is. Okay, 265.93 sitting on Tesla. We got to pull up the options order flow too. We didn't do that today yet. Let's pull that up. Let's pull up the options order flow. Remember, the options order flow is going to give us some hints into what we should expect in terms of next week for strength, weakness, whatever it is. Let's pull it up here. Here's the Tesla options order flow. As I say that, I gotta move my head. Okay. So we're seeing overall a bullish sentiment on options for order flow. Remember, this is cutting off anything expiring today and cutting off anything expiring 30 or more days from today. So we're seeing actually a good amount of calls being bought here in the last hour. Some put hedging as well. So we'll see. Yes, take that for what it's worth. Okay. Let's see here. Dasa, thank you so much for the two. Is that Swiss franc? CHF? I think it is. It's the first time CHF are worth more than euro. Yeah, the collapse of the euro as well is yeah, it is what it is. Thank you for the super chat. Can Canada do a reverse 2-to-1 split of their currency? You guys are funny. You guys are crapping on Canada here. I can't let the Canadian slander go. You know, there seems like there's a lot of, like, even Canadians I speak with, it seems like less and less of them are nationalistic, patriotic is the American term, than ever before. I'm trying to fight that trend. I'm trying to still stay very positive on Canada as a whole in the long run. 265.75. On Tesla. My guess is not looking good. My guess was pretty much high day. Well, actually, no, high day is 275. So it is what it is. Okay, so I went through the back of the napkin. By the way, really what excites me is if you look at the deliveries for a second, right? And of course, this is taking Tesla at face value. 50% year-over-year growth. I have it until 2026. In 2027, I slow the growth rate to 30. Just still crazy. Like we talk about 30% growth rate at this point is just, this is astronomical in terms of growth rate. Anyways, to get to 20 million vehicles in 2030, that's about enough, to be honest. For 50% growth rate all the way up to end of 2026, 2027, we got a 30% growth rate. But what excites me is the cars in the fleet. Because and I see people talking about AWS in the comments. The cars in the fleet number is very important to me because eventually Tesla will launch an app store. Eventually they will launch add-on features, subscription offers, whatnot. So as we, look at the outstanding fleet, yes, Tesla's going to continue to make more cars and print more money that way, operating leverage, all that good stuff. FSD, even forget about FSD for a second here. It just the service revenue possibilities that Tesla has is crazy. If Tesla launched an app store, made it open like the Apple App Store, had app owners, they can monetize, they can connect through stuff, all payment. Remember, Apple takes something like 30% of all, like a merchant fee almost out of everything out of their app store. Like I look at the fleet. And this is why it's possible is because it's pretty much computers on wheels. I look at the revenue just from the existing fleet as almost like pure profit as well. Maybe like 70-80% gross margins on software, right? People saying, thanks for subscribing, folks. Appreciate that. Paul saying insurance grows with fleet. Insurance is a big one as well. I look at insurance really as like let's say Tesla hits a demand roadblock and they say, okay, we're at 10 million vehicles and we're finding it harder. We've driven down costs, but we're finding it harder. Well, now just make Tesla insurance exclusive to Teslas And then now you've incentivized everyone to use Tesla insurance at the way cheaper premium costs. Like there's so many demand levers that Tesla can push if and when that's out. Why is Tesla App Store not out yet? I have no idea. Actually, someone tweeted at me saying, yeah, like you're an idiot. Elon said this is like this year or like, 2020 something is when the App Store is coming out. I forget what that was, to be honest. 265.37 sitting on Tesla. Nismo says, what's the hype with Rivian? Is Amazon Mercedes interest really worth the hype? I think whenever you have Amazon backing you, I think you have, I've said this from day one, you have a lot of legitimacy in my eyes if Amazon's backing you. Even to me, Amazon has been one of the top world-class companies in the for a while. So, but I mean, it's a tough business, we know. So 265.30, we have 2 minutes left here till close. Boyle says apparently the pretzels I'm eating are as opposite of good juju. Okay, another slice here coming in. Paul says to say nothing of Tesla Energy. That's actually a really big one to end the year as well. I should speak for myself. I completely don't talk about Tesla Energy. I just kind of consider it a loss leader for now. But you're right. I mean, Elon said Tesla Energy is going to be as big, if not bigger than the car business in the long run. There's just so much here. What are your thoughts on Meta stock? I'm a bag holder. Actually, I'm not, but Avi is a bag holder on Meta stock. She tells me about it every day when she logs into her brokerage account. Let's see here. He never said a year from the App Store. No. There was something in reference to like, okay, when this happens, the App Store is out. Someone tweeted at me about that at least. I didn't really fact check it. I haven't talked about it. Autobidder, yeah, Autobidder too. Yeah, that's actually really what a lot of the Autobidder virtual, the VPP stuff. That stuff is really what like brought me into Tesla YouTube. For a large portion of like getting to know Tesla. I always thought I knew the car business, but I really didn't. But the VPP stuff, it like was really like the lead magnet for me to like really start investigating. Because I was just like, wait, this is crazy. Okay, quite the sell-off to end the day. 265.40. We've got 10 seconds until market close here. 10 seconds to market close. Will export earnings be down from a strong dollar? Yes, we will see a foreign exchange hit this quarter. It could get ugly. To be honest, I'm not sure how much. I think Matt Smith from Good Soil is projecting like in the less than 500 mil. I forget exactly what it was. Don't want to put words in his mouth, but that's vaguely what I remember. So it's not going to be pretty. Alrighty, 265.25 is the closing price of the day, folks. 25. Some people are saying 40 here. Hold on one sec. Let's pull up the winner. And then stick around because I'm going to ask you guys for a guess for deliveries in a second. Not now. Hold on. Okay, let's find the winner first. Scott guessed 265.42. So we guessed that we closed at 265.25. Let's see. Is that it? Hold on here. Hold on one sec. Hold on. Is this indeed the correct closing price, or is Webull? Yeah, it's 25, right? Okay. Well, hold on. Scott guessed 265.42. Scott, you're over by almost 20 cents here. So Price is Right rules disqualifies you, my friend. I'll give you. Oh, hold on here. No, Angus was close. Actually, I don't think anyone came in the 265s. 265s. I'm gonna have to go 264 on this guy. Let's see here. So Michael guessed 264.20. It's quite a ways away. Marco guessed 264.69. So did Todd Murray. Okay, so Marco and Todd are tied here. Gentry was at 20 cents. Oh, I think Nicholas Shanks, you win this one. 264.91. Goes to show you, Price is Right rules, you can never hold your breath. You just don't know what's going to happen. I think Nicholas, you win. Nicholas wins. Nicholas Shanks guessed 264.91. Congrats, Nicholas. Fellow Juju Gang member. Congrats to you. I will eat a slice of Juju for you, and I'll throw some virtual Juju your way later. Shout out to everyone that came close. Scott, you were close. I'll give you a shout out for that. Price is Right rules. You just never can hold your breath for it. It happens to the best of us. It does, really. One time I was 1 cent over, remember? Oh, wow. Oh. That was a very sour orange. That was almost like a lemon, I'll be honest. Ooh. I think that might be some foreshadowing to AI Day. Okay, now, everyone sticking on the chat. Throw your delivery guess in the chat now for Q3 Tesla 2022 deliveries. Remember, one guess. I'll try to go back to this and figure out who won. Remember, one guess. Throw it in the chat. We'll do, yes, and Price is Right rules, of course. You have to do Price is Right rules. There's no other way to do it. And please try to throw in like the full number. Don't put K if you can avoid it. It's just easier for later when I search it up. Yeah. I'll throw my guess in too. So 363 is, I love how before I guess I like get all this time to think, right? So Street consensus from Tesla compiled is 363. Wall Street is a little bit lower. I'm going to say 367,880. 880. There we go. Okay, we'll see. Deliveries or production. That's a great point. The higher one. Okay, let's just put it at that. Should we put it as the higher one or should we put it as deliveries? We know production is going to be higher this quarter. So let's just say production, right? Like, I think it's like 90% chance production is going to be higher this quarter. No? You guys saying delivery? Oh, come on. It's not going to matter. But the higher one. Okay, the higher one. We all know this is what's happening here. Let's just do... Okay, fine, deliveries. Deliveries it is. Deliveries it is. Hopefully that doesn't change anything for anyone. Deliveries. Production is more important, I agree. But everyone's talking deliveries. We'll put deliveries. It is what it is. It actually doesn't matter, to be honest. Because I think production is going to be higher, but Street will care about deliveries. I guess you're right. You know why? Deliveries make sense because that's what's going to go into the earnings report, and that's what we're going to base everything out of. I know. I'm the worst. It is what it is. This is where you pretend like you were calculating difference between the two, whereas like you were not just throwing a random number in. Okay, it's deliveries. Okay, awesome. Everyone's comments come in here. On screen, I don't know actually. Hopefully people, by the way, if you're watching on replay, does deliveries including used? No, used does not count as a delivery. It actually doesn't on the earnings report, I believe. Everyone watching on replay, virtual GG does matter, yes. Everyone watching on replay, let me know if you guys like the chat box or not. Okay, 265.25, we've closed the day. If anyone cares, I'll give you a rundown of just the macro markets before we head out. The NASDAQ closed down 1.7%. Tesla closed down 1.1%. The VIX volatility index is still up and over $31. Apple down 3% on the day, so I consider Tesla only being down 1.1%. Quite the victory for the day. And yeah, AI Day 2 tonight. It'll be epic. Deliveries on Sunday. Twitter settlement, maybe. Who knows? It seems like there's some stuff bubbling about that. We got a lot to talk about the following week. I've got Lee, Tesla Economist, on Monday. That'll be a Patreon exclusive for that. Feel free to support the channel if you want to. $5 a month gets you into our Discord, channel membership, all that stuff. Appreciate everyone that does. I'll be interviewing Lee, Tesla Economist, Monday for public release later in the week. Private release right after I record it. And then I'll be doing Power Hour, likely with Sawyer Merritt, on Friday. Again, tentative, because just has to confirm with me. But it'll be exciting for that. Who knows? Maybe by next Friday, it's totally different, right? And then for Tuesday, I'm not going to be doing the Tesla 24-hour spaces this Tuesday. I'll be doing every other week moving forward, I believe. I just needed more time for other stuff. So it is what it is. Awesome stream, everyone. Have an amazing, happy Friday. Put away the technology, phones, whatever you need to do to recharge, regroup. It's going to be tough. I know AI Day 2 and deliveries, and you're going to be on your phone all weekend. But just try to at least have a good time. Do what you need to recharge. Spend some time out. Go exercise. Go work out. Go meditate. Go spend time with family, friends, whatever it is. Do what you need to do, because remember, wealth comes second. We talk about stocks a lot. We talk about portfolios, all this stuff. It really doesn't matter unless we have our mind and body in order first. So do whatever you need to do there. Much love. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yash is signing off, and maybe AI Day 2 surprises us. Take care, everyone. Peace.